guys fishing light line get a lot more bites.
Yes.
Lot more bites. Obviously, when you're fishing, aside from squid, but if you're fishing fin bait, the guys that are getting the most bites are fishing really lively baits. They're changing their baits. You know, some guys wind up and they see the bait kicking a little bit, and they say, "Oh, he still looks good," and drops it back down. That's not going to catch the attention over the guy standing next to you with a real lively bait. If you're fishing halibut or pretty much anything from bluefin to barracuda, you want that bait that's swimming. And same with halibut. You want a bait that's down there flashing around better than the guy next to you. So that's key. Real lively baits every time you wind up, every couple minutes, whether anchovy or sardine, you want something down there where you can feel your rod tip bouncing around.
Video. Yeah, boy.
There's so much squid that we've been looking at there's several different squid beds, and we're looking at we've been keeping good tabs. And I tell all my passengers in the morning, with this amount of squid around and this good water we have going on this year, it might not be today and it might not be tomorrow, but I say one of these days we're gonna kick some fish's ass on this, some yellowtail and some sea bass and stuff. So we've been keeping tabs on it. We've been rolling through there every morning and giving it a good look and trying stuff and making bait. And one of these mornings, like I said, we're gonna kick the piss out of them.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. This lovely Sunday morning in January, it is fantastic. Man, check out that big surf back there. Surfer catching a wave as we're just starting out the morning briefing with you. It's a beautiful day in between rain. We're going to have more rain on Monday throughout Southern California, and we'll be keeping our eyes on that for you very, very closely. There is some great fishing to talk about. I mean, we've got long range. We've got a massive 45-pound halibut that was caught. Some good wintertime bass fishing going on. Lobster hoop netting is still in full force. The rain is starting to fall a little bit, and it's a great time for you to go to La Fogata this afternoon. That's a Mexican restaurant in Sherman Oaks, California, where the Friedman Adventures family will be gathering up, and I can't wait. 1 to 3 this afternoon, La Fogata. We'll see you there. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, I needed that. My voice a little bit raspy this morning, in case you didn't notice. Man, that surf is impressive here today. Let me tell you, yesterday it was nothing like this. So there is obviously some wind somewhere to generate this kind of ocean. And man, it is very, very impressive. There's a lot of surfers down this way catching some waves. So really a beautiful morning. Hey, if you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you're able to do that. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Over 12,000 of you have done that so far. Deeply appreciate that. Share these videos with a friend. And of course, you can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. We are there for you 24/7. On the horizon, the Bart Hall Show. That is Thursday at the Long Beach Convention Center. She opens up, and it's going to be a great show. You'll be able to see all kinds of wonderful people there. I'll be wandering around aimlessly. If you see me, just kind of direct me in the right direction. It should be really, really great. All right, let's get into it with you all, and we'll start out down in Cabo San Lucas. Actually, just a little bit up from there. Our friend Sean Morgan reporting really good fishing down there. He says from San Jose del Cabo, it is a stone's throw to reach some pretty good striped marlin fishing. There's some yellowfin tuna at times, dorado, and occasional wahoo. There is a vast cornucopia of species down there that you can partake in. Not every single day. It lacks some consistency, but pretty good. Down there around San Quintin, we see some occasional really good yellowtail bites. It's really looking good for forkies this year. I think 24 is going to be a really good year on the yellowtail. And if you listen to Pat O'Brien on the lead-in, he thinks up there in the Channel Islands, there's going to be an explosion sometime soon on either sea bass or yellowtail or some big numbers of halibut. I hope you enjoyed Pat as much as I did. Man, some great tips and such a personable guy. It's no wonder people like fishing on the Aloha Spirit with Pat and Sean and their great crew. Good stuff there. So some yellows down there. It looks good down in that neck of the woods, and you can fill in with rockfish and all kinds of other stuff. I like the Barracuda bite that's going on in Ensenada. Another early sign. You know, normally we don't start catching gar for a few more months down there in that neck of the woods, but it's been consistent down there for about a week now. Barracuda, some good calico bass, plenty of rockfish, some whitefish, some sheep's head. I mean, it's been good, and those big bonitos still biting. Ensenada, in case you're not familiar with the geography, only 70 miles down the Baja coast. And, you know, we looked down there for a preview of what's to come here in the LA Orange County areas, in the San Diego area, all the way up to the Channel Islands. I think there might be a little Barracuda bite going on here one of these days very soon also, given the indicators that we're seeing south of the border. By the way, we just posted a video of us handing out some of the great donations that you have been so kind to lend to the Friedman Adventures family in your name. And with Diego Nuno, he's deckhand on the Royal Star. Diego's a great guy, and he took us to a place called El Zorrillo, and the folks there really needed some help. In fact, we discovered that they need so much help. We'll be back there again really, really soon, handing out even more goods as we continue our efforts south of the border. And as I make the point all the time, I'm merely Santa Claus. You guys are the ones who make those good works happen. Each and every one of you have taken time out of your busy schedule to donate some clothing, to donate some funds, to help separate clothing. All of the things that you have done, I want to thank you so much. And our brothers and sisters in Mexico deeply appreciate all you do. You know, when I went to Costa Rica, I spent a year down there when I was a kid in the Catholic missions. And I remember a priest telling me when I first got started down there, and it remains true today, you're going to get way more out of this than you're able to give these people. And man, same thing. Down there meeting so many lovely people who have come upon some hard times and need a helping hand, but they do so much for me and for everybody who was down there. Everybody's feeling the same about that. All right, let's talk a little bit about the long-range bite. And I'll tell you, David Petruscu, he's on some boat. I'm not sure which one, and I'm not going to guess because I tried to look into it here this morning, just posting photos of some good catches early this morning. Had a nice yellowfin tuna on the Taddy lure. So, David, it's good to see you catching fish. Long-range fishing in general has been good. The Independence offloaded yesterday, and they had really good yellowfin tuna fishing. Some of that fish in the 120 to 200 pound range. They had a few fish over 200 pounds. There's also a lot of that, I want to say 70 to 90 pound fish. There's been occasional really good bites on the bigger flatheads, big Dorado, like 25 to 40 pound flatheads. That's been really, really excellent here also. And we continue to see a nice smattering of wahoo. It's not every single day that those fish bite, but it's been pretty darn good, pretty darn consistent. And we are loving everything we're seeing on the long range scene. XL is down there now. Royal Polaris is heading down there now. I mean, it's great to see these 16-day trips doing so well out of San Diego. A lot of them been down on Hurricane Bank. A lot of them on the way home have had great yellowtail fishing along the coast. Even the Royal Polaris the other day, on their way back to San Diego, decided to fish lingcod, and they flat put the wood to them. Really great lingcod bite there. I don't know how you can beat that. All right, let's talk about what's going on here. Wow, that is impressive, isn't it? Let's talk about what's going on from San Diego on up. The Daily Double with Scott Butchert yesterday. Scott said they had pretty good pick at the Sandbass and Sculpin. Down there right around the border between the United States and Mexico is where they were hanging out. So pretty good pick down there in that neck of the woods. You know, the wintertime bass bite has been pretty good. You know, you can pick off a few bass on most of these trips where you're fishing structure. You're going to be fishing with fresh dead squid in most cases. And again, you want to fish as heavy a line as you can get away with. Sometimes that's going to be 20 pounds. That's what's going to get you all the bites. Remember what Pat O'Brien was saying about catching halibut right now. Light line is making a big difference. But he also made the point that that's true with everything, whether it's white sea bass or bluefin tuna or whatever. A natural bait comes and goes along with lighter line, and it really seems to make a difference. But you are fishing structure on these wintertime bass. So if they're biting the 40 pound, fish it. If you can't get a bite on the 40 pound, you better drop down to 30, 25, 20. Keep playing around with it till you find exactly what's going to work best. And as always, when you're fishing wintertime bass, get some line on them in a hurry. Turn the handle, get some line, get them away from the structure. You got half a chance. And there's many landings right now focusing on that wintertime bass. So really, really good. Up in the Santa Monica Bay, you got Marina del Rey, you got Redondo. Here you've got the Long Beach landing, San Pedro, the Monte Carlo on a regular basis has been all over that. So there's been some really, really excellent signal and sign on that wintertime bass. Now, halibut, of course, is something that we've been focusing on a lot. Pat O'Brien with those great tips. The Native Son on their last trip, I think, had 6 legal halibut. They had 9 on the Aloha Spirit. I think they had 4 fish yesterday. A little bit of weather right now, so I think that is kind of making things a little bit more difficult. But about a week ago, 18 guys on board the Aloha Spirit had 34 halibut. And KJ from Mag 12 Swim Baits was on there the other day when they had 9 fish. They had a couple of white sea bass to go along with it. So we are really high on what is going on. I don't know if it's El Nino or what it is, but water temps up there in the Channel Islands are pushing 60 degrees. Wouldn't be a shock to see 55-degree water in a normal year. So pretty warm water. Just seems like things are accelerated. Perhaps it's the El Nino. Only time will tell. Remember those tackle tips on the halibut. That is so very important. I am about to butcher this guy's name, and I'm sorry that I'm going to do that. Coleman Mulfaput. I screwed it up. Coleman, forgive me, but man, your 45-pound flatty is so impressive. What a great catch. Congratulations from Friedman Adventures on that magnificent catch. I can see you like focusing on the halibut, and you have been doing a great job. But a 45-pound California halibut is one for the record books. I've never, ever even been close. Maybe a 30 for me down in Ensenada 100 years ago. That is a magnificent catch, and you and I are going to get together. We'll talk about that catch, and you're going to teach me how to pronounce your last name properly so I don't screw that up again. Dan Fromberg, he had the jackpot. Halibut on board the Aloha Spirit. Nice fish there. Really beautiful fish, Don. So the halibut bite has been pretty good as I'm looking over toward Long Beach, and the rain is falling, just barely falling here. Sun's coming out. I can feel the warmth on me. It's beautiful as we're in between rain showers here with more rain on the way tomorrow. So again, we'll be keeping our eyes on that. Private boater Bobby Martinez. Check out his catch. Nice sand bass fishing, some spotted bay bass to go along with it. Bobby Martinez all over it, doing a fantastic job. That looks like fun, Bobby. It really does with this local bass bite. Not bad at all, I will tell you that. You know, rockfish is closed in Southern California right now. So if you want to catch a rockfish, you better go south of the border in Mexican waters where it's open. You can fish with the boys down there, or you can jump on a San Diego-based boat that is headed south. And those day-and-a-half Colinet trips, Punta Colinet is 120 miles down the Baja coast. They're going to start up here pretty soon. They catch all kinds of big lings and rockfish, but man, that early signal on yellowtail bodes well for those Colinet trips this year. So hang on. I think you got a lot of great fishing going on there in that neck of the woods also. Don't forget, April the 4th through the 9th, we're on board the Independence. We have a November 8-day trip sold out. Our April 5-day trip is one that I want to see you on. That should be a lot of fun. You can go to independentsportfishing.com, or you can give the phone number you see there a call, or you can go over and see the boys at the Bart Hall show here starting Thursday. Sign up there, or just get more information, learn more about this fantastic, beautiful long-range boat, Independent Sport Fishing for you. I'll have our charter list over there at La Fogata today, and we're going to be doing a lot with El Patron. We're putting together at least a trip or two every single month. Don't have those dates for you right now. I might even get that together. Who knows? Miracles never cease here at Friedman Adventures. So I will try to do that for each and every one of you. Lobster hoop netting, whenever you have weather like this, some inclement weather, let's call it, you have big seas. After it calms down, not during this, don't risk your neck for this, but after it all calms down, lobster love to crawl. And it's been a really good crawl so far here this year. You saw that 9-pound lobster that an angler had the other day. Fantastic. PromarAhi.com, man, they have some great tutorials on how you can slam dunk the lobster. You don't have a private boat, no problem. Several landings are fishing the lobster. I mean, up there at Marina del Rey, they're doing it. LA Harbor's doing it. Dana Wharf's doing it. San Diego's doing it. Pretty much everywhere has some of these lobster hoop netting trips that you can take advantage of. Pretty tough conditions here this morning in terms of trying to fish. Man, oh man, these guys are catching some good waves. In terms of trying to fish the surf, would I call it impossible this morning? Close to it, pretty close. But, you know, I pulled some fish out of seas like this before. It's kind of amazing. Sometimes you'll come down here. Well, for example, you make a cast right now and then come back through that with a chrome crocodile or a little cast master. Right now, you can pick a fish off, and there's fish there feeding. Trust me, these heavy seas are dredging up clams and mussels and all kinds of other little things like worms that the surf fish like to eat. So they stage behind those waves breaking. And like right now, coming through that, you've got a very good chance of pulling some fish out of there. When it calms down further, it should even be better. And we've seen quite a bit of halibut, some really good barred perch fishing this year, both south of the border and here. We've seen it in addition. So we have seen nothing short of some really great surf fishing in SoCal. Some yellowfin croaker to go along with it. As I say, this is such a great fishery. It's not that expensive to do this. You can get the kids to the beach. You know, if the kids get bored, they're at the beach, for God's sakes. You can fish and they can raise all kinds of cane goofing around here on the beach. Love surf fishing. And man, if you want to get tackled up, go to Southern California's surf fishing headquarters. That is Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. Man, I'll tell you, they not only have all the baits you'll need to be successful here in the Southern California surf, but they've got all the tackle you'll need. And not just surf fishing tackle. For sure, they've got an ample supply of surf fishing tackle, but they also have some trout stuff down there, and they've got all the big stuff you'll need to take on 200-plus pound bluefin and a marlin and everything in between. Right on the corner of Pacific Coast Highway and Seal Beach Boulevard, it is Big Fish Bait and Tackle. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Feeling very, very blessed here this morning. Man, check that wave out. That is massive. Huge waves. There's a lot of guys, many of the surfers down this way, but there's that lone surfer back behind me. I hope you've seen him catch a few waves as I've been droning on and on and on. Really great stuff. Hey, as always, it's a pleasure to be with you. I'll see you in a couple of hours at La Fogata. I'm thinking about live streaming that event and then maybe having an open mic where you could walk up and talk about your latest great fishing adventure or whatever else you want to chat about. We'll see you at La Fogata 1 to 3 this afternoon. Football, great food, fishing. It's going to be a really fun afternoon. Can't wait to see you there. And as always, if I don't see you this afternoon, I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends. Happy Sunday.